Alright. Hello, ladies and gents. My name's Tim. I run the Brand Weaver agency here in the UK. We're a brand consultancy, design, and strategy agency working specifically with breweries, helping them to understand what makes them unique, stand out in the marketplace, and ultimately grow as a brewery. And I'm here today with my awesome friend Nigel. Hello, sir.
G'day, mate. How's it going?
Going well?
That's good. Yeah, my name's Nigel Ailing. I'm on the other side of the world in Australia, and I run a business called We Love Craft Beer, and I've been working in digital marketing space for about 15 years, and the last 3 or 4 years specialising in helping craft breweries as well. So we're sort of in the same space, but probably with a slightly different focus, I guess.
Exactly. And with a lot of water in between us as well. So it's
Absolutely.
So yeah, today Nigel and I we're going to be talking about how breweries can increase their online sales because at the end of the day, what brewery doesn't want to increase their sales and why not do it online where it should be super easy and available for everyone to get to. Right, Nigel?
Absolutely. I've run a number of businesses over the last probably 20 years, and a number of them have been online. So, yeah, certainly see the value of having an online business.
Fantastic. And like before we get stuck in too far, some of the breweries that I've spoken to here, they don't really invest too much time in their website. They kind of have a simple, it might be a landing page, there might be a kind of about us, but not a lot of them invest in the online shop. What would you say to those breweries? What are they missing out on if they don't have a shop online?
You're missing out on sales. You're missing out on dollars. That's the key thing. And in a really competitive marketplace, and things are quite tight. We've gone through COVID. We've gone through all this stuff. Not everybody can get to your venue. If they can get to your venue, they might be buying some takeaways. But the opportunity for people to try and buy online, sample beers, get things sent to them. I mean, I live in a regional area. I'm constantly buying stuff online that I can't get locally. So yeah, if you're not in the game, you're definitely missing out.
I'm guessing you're saying about COVID there as well. Like we've definitely seen a shift in drinking behaviors where more people are opting to drink in, like stay indoors and get some mates around and crack open a few beers there instead of going out to a pub, a brewery, or a tap room. So you can still be part of that if you give your shoppers the opportunity to order online and you deliver it to their doorstep, right?
Absolutely. So yeah, let let's hop in and talk about what you can do to really make sure your website sings.
Fantastic. So we've got the first slide up here, and it is a user-friendly website. So Nigel, why don't you give us the headlines? Like, what is a user-friendly website, and why do breweries need one?
Well, there's nothing worse to go on a website and it's got stuff all over the place. You see the picture we've got here where there's a whole lot going on. There's pop-ups all over the screen, and it's just frustrating to look at. I mean, these days, probably 60, 70% of most of the traffic going to a website is on a mobile. So the worst thing you can do is put a big ugly pop-up there. The second thing is obviously if it's not mobile friendly, we've all got big thumbs, and you've got to make things nice and easy to navigate around. So that's the absolute basic minimum these days is have a mobile friendly website, try to avoid pop-ups, try to make sure everything's easy to navigate, simple, and keep the clear to action call to actions really clear too. Don't want much going on, and that's why we've got this example of one of the UK breweries sites over there, which you picked out. You can see there's just so much going on. How do you navigate that, and how do you navigate it on mobile?
Yeah, exactly. And don't get me wrong, like Marlow, the Rebellion Brewery in Marlow is a phenomenal brewery. They do so well with their marketing and everything else outside of the website. I highlighted this because the website to me is the one element that lets them down. And anyone who's watching the video can see that the page is just cluttered. There is so much going on. The eye is drawn left, right, and center. There's no real focus as to what a user should be doing. It's only after a little bit of thinking that they go, oh, okay, I should click here to buy my beer. But I think
Yep.
the interesting thing you also mentioned, Nigel, was like, 60, 70% of users, first time visitors to a website are on a mobile device these days, which makes perfect sense. You've got, someone who maybe has just heard of your brewery. They're not going to be sat in front of their laptop or a desktop machine. They're going to be like out and about. And so they're going to check you out on the mobile device. And so you want to grab them immediately, super quick load, super easy for them to buy that 4-pack and sample it and get it sent to the house by the weekend, right?
Absolutely, and people have short attention spans. They don't want to spend a lot of time. You get a pop up. If I get a pop up on my mobile and I can't click it and get it to disappear quickly, I'll probably just leave and go to the next site. So that's the worst thing you can do, especially on a mobile device. But you know more about branding and stuff than me. But when you look at that, all that red, I mean, red is a warning sign. It's not, it's like, whoa, don't go there. And it's like, but they're trying to get a call to action. They got these red buttons all over the place, and it's scary. So nothing more of a turn off when people go to a website and just see so much going on. They just leave and go to the next website.
Yeah, and it is a tricky one because I know the Rebellion brand well, and they have red, yellow, and black. Those are their brand colors. But you're completely right. What they've done is they've oversaturated the page with that red, and so now everything is a call to action. Everything is important, which in turn makes nothing important. They really would
Correct.
want to be using that red sparsely. So it's like, right, these are the important buttons that you click on. One or two things to draw the attention. But I think if they were to check their use of color, really tidy up that page, as you say, make it much quicker, more streamlined, and reduce those pop-ups. In turn, they're going to see more engagement and more buyers. And
Yeah.
one thing I was going to add in is like Google are actively penalizing all websites, not just brewery websites, around performance and mobile use and speed of load. And they're actively checking these kind of things because if you're not a fast website, if you're not delivering what the user's looking for, and if they can't use it, they're not going to put you at the top of the search rankings. So beyond just driving sales, actually increasing your search engine optimization is a double whammy of why you need to be focusing on this. Okay, so next thing, imagery and photography. So we're talking about on the website. Nigel, what are the points that we need to remember as a brewery?
Well, you know branding better than I do, and consistency is a really important thing. Getting right across the website, you want the brand to stick out. You want great photography, high quality images, and again, you don't want it to be cluttered.
And like in terms of professional photography, like what I've seen these days as well is can breweries get away with shooting a product shot on their iPhone and uploading it?
I guess that depends on on the ability of the individuals, and I guess it's not so much the phone. The phone will do it. It's about being able to stage it well and put some really good backdrops in there, or whether you're going to have a plain backdrop behind everything. It's one thing to put a good picture on Instagram. It's another thing to have a really good high quality image in your shop.
Yeah, and I think it's also the challenge of consistency, like you say, that you want same size can or same size bottle, same setup, distance from the camera each and every time, because you want your beers to appear as a set, as a cohesive unit, so people go, this is all part of one brewery.
And that's where we've got a couple of great examples here. So you're familiar with this brewery again?
Yeah, so this is Camden Brewery or Camden Town Brewery here in the UK. In my opinion, they've nailed consistent photography. Obviously, they've got a strong brown color for each of the beers, nice typographic consistency on the cans. And you see it's like same size, same shape, different color, but it's part of the same set. Like it's beautiful.
Absolutely. It's like a deck of cards. You've got the three different suits there. The other thing that stands out really clearly on the colours there, but on the white background, you've got the name of each style. You've got the description of the style. You've got the pricing. It's all there, all in one easy to look at eye shot.
100%.
And this is one from our neck of the woods. So Bent Spoke Brewery is one of the major breweries out here in Australia. And again, like this is a shot of their actual site. This is a shot of the shopping cart. And when you go to their site, again, simple, plain background. All their beers got the same sort of look and feel about them, which means if you walk into a bottle shop or something like that, you're going to see that. But also, just the can, nothing else, a price, and the description of the beer.
Yeah. And this is the first time I've seen this clip. And what really stands out to me, and it's actually a good kind of identifier as to how consistency can work with or against you, is there's one can there that's not like the others, and that is bent. The logo is larger, and my eye is immediately drawn to that one because it is stand out. And so that's something that breweries can probably bear in mind for maybe limited editions or limited runs or seasonals, that if you want to have your consistent range, then have consistent branding, and then try something just a little bit different if you want to draw the attention for a monthly or something like that.
Absolutely. Then when you click through to from that sort of, I guess, the shopping cart page where you've got all the different brands and you click into one brand or one product, again, really clear. You want a professional photo again, but you want the pricing really clear as well. You don't want it at the bottom of the screen. You don't want it really hard to find. You don't want to have, pick a selection or pick an attribute with 9 different options. Make it really clear. This one says from, okay? But as soon as you click on that, you're going to get the results that you want. Don't give people too much information too early. It's a bit like going on a date, it's like, and being in their face straight away. It's like, show me what you've got, which is the nice big broad picture. If I'm interested, I'll click on that one and I'll find out more. I don't need to know, some people put up their shipping costs in the picture. It's like, don't tell me what the shipping costs until I'm actually ready to buy and ready to check out.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. It's from $21 here. To me, I'm as a user, I'm already thinking like, wow, $21. If that's from it, like, is that a can? Personally, if I were to like tweak this even more, I might go from like, for a can cost. So you've got a real basic cost that you're looking at the very bottom dollar that you could be paying. Potentially type of beer as well. I know, if you look into the can, it says Cranking IPA, but you've really got to see that. So whilst it's clear and it's easy to follow, in my opinion, there's a couple of things I think that could improve it just from a user perspective.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things. I guess there's not really the perfect site out there, but there's some things you can take away from each of them to try and make your site look as good as you can.
100%.
So the next thing is when you do go down to that next level where you're basically clicking on the brand to ready to check or the product ready to check out, you're going to get a good product description, clear product information, and clear pricing. There's nothing worse. I go to a website and I have a look at it and it says, it's got a picture of the beer, because obviously that's what we were talking about before with the crankshaft. Over here, everybody knows crankshaft. It's been the #1 beer in Australia for the last like 3 or 4 years. Once you click on the crankshaft thing, then you go through and you get the full description. You see all the options and things like that again. So I guess it was like I was saying before, don't give them too much information too early. Give them a little bit of information, make it clear. When they want more information, they click through and they go through the next stage. And again, we're looking at the Camden one there. Again, nice, clean shot. Talks about the product, the description, the options, all that sort of stuff is there.
Yeah, and the reason I picked the Camden one is there's a couple of reasons actually. So photography, there's a really nice range. You can see the product, you can see the beer when it's poured. So a lot of people base it on the color of the beer these days. So showing that or having a color reference. And they've also got like a lifestyle shot in there as well. So it gives you that emphasis as to when you should be drinking the beer or how it can accompany a particular time of day or activity. And they capture that all in the photography. Then you move to the right-hand side, and we were talking about Rebellion and the use of red previously. They've nailed their use of red, like 3 key buttons there. It's a case of like, add to cart, what's the size and how many, easy. Then bottom right-hand corner, when we look at hierarchy, that's where the extra information is. But Camden know that the important things are let these people buy the beer, let them see the beer. Everything else is just a sub-description, and they can get to that later. I think it's a great layout of the page.
Absolutely. And I don't know what it's like over there. It's actually law here. You have to have the ABV or the alcohol range displayed. I can't believe how many websites I go to that's selling alcohol that still don't have the alcohol range on the site, on the range of the beer on the site. So make sure that's an absolute imperative, whether it's regulation or not. If somebody wants to buy a beer, they want to know what the ABV of that beer is.
100%. There's a certain type of drinker who's a very conscious drinker, and they're looking at that percentage that informs their choice. If they're buying a particular beer for a certain occasion, finding that percentage and basing their buying choices on that is really important. So yeah, it's just the same over here. You've got to have that volume on there.
So I guess the next thing we look at when we go onto a website is trust. And, with so much going on at the moment, so many scams, so many rorts, one of the things that people really look for on a site is trust factor. There's some really simple ones, which is like the SSL. So most people will be familiar with that. That's the little sort of secure screen that pops up, or the little padlock that pops up in the corner. If you go to a website that doesn't have one of those, that usually gives you a warning. It used to be that only a bank website or something like that would have SSL. Pretty much now every website has to have an SSL. And if you don't, your website will be penalized for it. But more importantly than that, people are not going to buy from a site that doesn't have an SSL on it. It gives that security in terms of, passing over information, and that's a big trust factor. Mm-hmm. The other thing is customer reviews and testimonials. Make sure they're genuine. Don't put in, my mum said I make great beer. I've seen some ridiculous things on there. If you can use like Google reviews and embed those into your site or something like that, that's a great way of doing it as well. But people look for this, and I'll show you a couple of examples of some really good stuff in a minute. But I buy a bit of stuff online again because I'm in a regional area. You go to a website and there's nothing there, and it's just like the e-com part, and there's nothing around it that gives you any sort of trust feeling. I'm going to leave that site and go to another one quickly.
Yeah, like we call that brand authority when it comes to the website. So the case of like customer reviews, testimonials, case studies, not exactly for breweries, but definitely awards and like qualifications, especially from the brewers or like their history of that. All of those build up a really impressive and trustworthy picture for the brand. And as you say, you can't have, people can spot a fake review from a mile off. So having something that has been pulled in from either we've got TripAdvisor or you've got Google reviews is far more trusted. And I think more breweries need to lean into that, that review kind of area. I've seen breweries promote, get 10% off a pint if you leave us a positive review and show us it on TripAdvisor or Untappd or wherever it might be. And it's a huge kudos factor, especially when searching for breweries as well, that they look for those reviews and ratings.
Absolutely. The other thing to consider too is making sure you got good payment options. So, whether you're going to use, something that's related to your e-com site, or whether you're going to use third-party gateways like, PayPal or whoever they are, Square, whatever the option is. Make sure there's options there. Make sure they're easy options to use. And make sure it sort of covers off on everybody, because not everybody wants to use a credit card. Some people might pay using a different method. The more options, or the simple, have a couple of options at least. Make sure they're simple, and it's going to cater for everybody.
And it's got to be options that people recognize, right? I've been onto various websites, so it's like, oh, there's this random payment gateway that I have never heard of before. Orange Zebra. You're going, I'm not going to put my money through Orange Zebra. I'm going to put it through, like you say, Square or PayPal, something that's got a reputation. So variety is key, but trustworthiness and awareness is so important within that, because you're not going to be putting your money anywhere.
Absolutely, and that's why we've listed the payment under trust factors as well. The other thing you can do is obviously make your product more appealing. And what I mean there is not just, we're selling beer, but how do you, and it's packaged, but how do you put that beer into something else? So whether it's a subscription offer, or there's a discount for like, you buy a 4-pack or you buy a 16-pack and you get a slight price break. There might be, buy one of these and add one of those. That's sort of, other buyers also bought this. Make sure that, again, there's some good offerings other than just the beer. We're buying the beer, but if you can bundle it or package it with something else, that'll mean that there's a higher chance of you getting an increased sale as well. And if you go to the trouble of getting them to the site and they're going to buy one thing, make it easy for them to add that extra thing, which is why, it's do you want fries with that? Make sure that there's an offering that extends just the sale of the purchase as well.
Yeah, and I'd say from like a branding and a user perspective, especially for first-time visitors to a brewery website, they're not going to know, may not know the specific beer that they want. They actually are looking for a bundle, a package, a range, so they can try a little bit of everything. So you're not going to make it hard for that visitor to go, well, I've got to add one of those and one of those and one of those. It's like, the first time drinker, not first time drinker, but the first time buyer bundle, like what does that look like versus, as you say, a subscription bundle? Or you've got, you look at seasonal events, you've got a Father's Day coming up, you've got a Christmas, coming up. Like, what are those kind of gifts that you can bundle together that incentivize a bigger sale?
Yeah, or even just a particular style or appealing to a different type of drinker. You can have an IPA pack with like 4 different IPAs in it, or you can have a lager pack with like a Kolsch and a lager and a pilsner or something like that. Use your product and package it up in a way that might appeal to different people, or have like a flight, if you like, where you get 6 different beers in a 6 pack rather than having to buy 6 of the one type of beer.
Yeah, 100%. It's all about thinking about the user at the end of the day. It's like, what are they going to be looking for, and how can I make it as easy as possible for them to get what they want or get more than what they wanted at each and every point.
Absolutely, and this screenshot we've taken here is of one of our biggest independent online bottle shops in the country, called Beer Cartel, and they do a really good job of that. And you can see in the screen there how it's sort of gone. Okay, well, they also do things like gift packs, because the other thing to remember is it's not always the person the person's buying is not always the end user as well. People buy beer as a gift to give to somebody else. And so, think about it not just being what's the buyer want, but what is the buyer looking for perhaps for somebody else as well. So, as you said, you can do a Father's Day pack, you can do a mixed pack, you can do an IPA pack. There's a whole lot of things you can do. And again, while they're there, see if you can get them to commit to something that's a little bit more than the one-off sale as well. If you offer a subscription, which a lot of breweries that are doing online stuff do, it's not just a one-off thing. You can say, hey, join up and get our 6 pack or our 12 pack or our 24 pack delivered to your house every month, and we'll put something new in there, or we'll put something interesting in there as well, because we all know craft beer drinkers are fairly fickle. We're always looking for the next big thing, or the next new thing. And so I guess it's about trying to entice them, not just, for this sale, about giving them something that might sort of lead them to the next sale as well.
Yeah. And I think the whole subscription piece, we've talked about this before, you guys have got the edge on us over here in the UK. We've got some like big subscription services, but actual breweries, I've not seen a huge amount of them. There are some, but I've not seen a huge amount really double down on this. And it can be such a game changer for revenue because it's money in the bank each and every month. If you get someone to sign up for a 12-month subscription, that's guaranteed income for 12 months. And it's a great way to kind of keep them on board, bring them into the membership, and build a really committed community member to your brewery. So I definitely think this is something people can't sleep on.
Absolutely. And yeah, we have been doing it for a while over here. It started with some, I guess, bottle shops doing it, like this one I talked about, Beer Cartel. They've been doing it for a while, but a lot of the breweries do it now, where you sign up and you basically get a 6 or a 12 pack or whatever it is every month delivered. There's one company that I've signed up for, and I've been doing it for the last 18 months. They brew some awesome European lagers. I'm going to give them a shout out. Slow Lane Brewing is like probably the best European lager brewer in our country. And I sign up for that because every month I know I'm going to get some awesome beers delivered. And they do a lot of new releases as well. So, if you've only got core range, I guess that's a little bit hard. But if you're bringing out seasonal ranges and bringing out something new every month, then that's a great way to keep your customers engaged.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's definitely, and you can put so much more in there as well. Even like consider partnerships with other suppliers, distilleries in your local area to make more of a local offering. There's so much they can look at.
Absolutely. And yeah, so we've covered off on a fair bit, I guess, and just doing a quick recap as well, because we want to try and make this this is the first one of these we've done. We want to try and make them fairly clear and succinct and get to the point without boring you with lots of details. But yeah, just some of the things we talked about again, the user-friendly website, really important. You can talk about again the imagery and the photography, how important that is, and getting that looking really right. The product range, make it simple, have those trust factors built in, and of course, get them beyond sale and see what you can do to really keep them engaged over a longer period as well.
Yeah, I think like the one thing for me that weaves most of this together is think about your shopper. Think about the community member who's going to be buying. They want to go to a trusted website. They want to go to a website that's fast and easy to use. They want consistency and they want opportunity and variety. If you build and optimize your website to deliver the very best experience for your shopper, for your punter, then you're going to be leagues ahead of a lot of breweries out there right now who are just building a website because they need a website.
Absolutely. And as much as there's a lot of cynicism around Google and what they say they do, and everybody thinks they're just trying to, make money. And one of the things about Google is they say it's a user first, right? So if you always put your user first, then you, in terms of your search engine optimization, all that sort of stuff, Google will reward you for that. If you try and scam the system, or you try and, just make what's best for you, then or try and increase your own pocket rather than trying to improve the service to the user. Google knows that. It knows all the tricks. There's millions of websites, so everybody's out there trying to scam it to get to the top. But if you put your user first in everything, make it a good user experience, lots of trust factors, make it a simple shopping cart that they can loads quick, and all that sort of stuff. Google will reward you for that, and you'll go straight to the top of the list. So put your user first. That's always the best thing to do.
Fantastic. So, Nigel, of course, we bring this to a close, but if people have more questions, if they want to know and pick your brains about your side of knowledge and increasing sales, where's the best place to get in touch with you?
So yeah, just Google "We Love Craft Beer." Hopefully the website will come up first because we spend a little bit of time doing that. If it doesn't, tell me about it. But so go to the website or reach out to us on our socials. We Love Craft Beer. LinkedIn. I'm all over the place. Shoot me an email. Send me a link to your website. I'm more than happy to have a look at it and give you some feedback.
Yeah, I think that's a great offer. Anyone who wants 5 minutes of a review on the website would be amazing. In terms of getting hold with me or getting hold of me, you can find me at thebrandweaver.co.uk. I'll be on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm all over the shop and popping up at a number of UK beer conferences in the next month. So if you see this face with the hat and the beard, come say hi.
Yeah, thanks, Tim, and hopefully, the people watching this get something out of it. If you do, make sure you let us know. And if there's any other things you want to talk about, hopefully they'll let us know as well, and we can dive into some of those other things in some of our other presentations as well.
100%. We want to do more of these, and we want to help as many breweries as possible. So don't be afraid to reach out. We're kind guys. It's all good.
Yeah. Thanks, mate. All the best.
Cheers, buddy. Bye bye.